For today's lesson, we're going to work with 8.2, comparing and ordering integers. Our standard is 6th grade number sense C, and our objective is that we're going to be able to compare and order integers. Our mathematical literacy, we have integers, positive numbers, negative numbers, and opposites. Alright, with 8.2, comparing and ordering integers, our success criteria is that we're going to be able to explain how to determine which of two integers is greater. We're also going to be able to order a set of integers from least to greatest. And lastly, understand statements about order in real life problems. Alright, so for the mathematical literacy, we went over integers and we talked about how integers, they are counting numbers and also natural numbers. We've also mentioned that integers have both positive numbers and negative numbers, and that we have opposites. For an example, the opposite of -4 is +4. The opposite of 7 is -7 on the number line, okay? So we did talk about that, and let's build off of that. So right now we're going to go ahead and compare integers here. So we have two examples here. Now, our directions tell us to compare 2 and -6. Okay, we're going to compare that and then graph them on the number line. Now remember, integers, these guys can be represented on a number line, and the numbers to the right on a number line are greater than the numbers on the left. Okay, same thing. Here's what I mean. Let me get an example. So if I have a number line here, let's say the x-axis. Okay, now this goes all the way to positive infinity. Here's your origin, and this goes all the way to negative infinity. Now again, like I mentioned, integers, let's say this is 2, this is -2, so on and so forth, okay, in each direction. The integers can be represented on a number line just like our x-axis here, and the numbers to the right on a number line are greater than the numbers on the left. So the more we go to the right, the greater the numbers are, and everything to the left of that number is going to be less than, okay? We can compare and order integers by first locating them on this number line. With that being said, there is also another number line called your y-axis. Your origin will be like the ground level or sea level. The numbers, just like the x-axis, if we were to turn it, now the origins here, the numbers that are above the origin, that would be your positive integers, and again, these guys are greater than the numbers on the bottom below that number. All right, so the same concept when we have that vertical axis called your y-axis. All right, now let's say that this is -2 and this is +2. Now +2 is greater than -2 because it is has a much higher value than that. Okay, the worth is more. Now when we compare, we're asking a number that is less than, greater than, equal to, less than. Okay, but let's just go ahead and do this. So if I compared the number 2 and the numbers -6, and we got to look at this. If we were to use that number line here, okay, and let's say this is -1, I'm sorry, +1, sorry, +2, +3, +4. Here we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. So right there's -6. And now if I were to graph -6, -6 will be over here, and +2 would be over here. Okay. Now if I look at this and I graph them on this x-axis here, all right, or origins here. So like I mentioned earlier, the integers on this number line, the numbers or the integers on the right of the number line are greater than the numbers on the left. So that means that 2 here is greater than -6. So imagine, earlier I did mention in our earlier lessons about a coyote. So let's say that 2 is greater than, and a coyote always wants to go after the slowest, fatter sheep. Okay, so these jaws, these teeth go towards the bigger number. So we can say that 2 is greater than -6. And again, we did graph this on a horizontal number line, just like that. All right, same thing for B. we're going to compare -5 and -3 on a horizontal number line. A horizontal number line, again, is your x-axis. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and draw another x-axis. Okay, there we go. Here's our origin, 0. And then we have +1, +2, so on and so forth, all the way to positive infinity. On the left side of that origin, we have the opposites. The opposite of +1 is going to be -1. The opposite of +2 is going to be -2, so on and so forth. So -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, and it's just going to go on forever to -infinity. Now, let's graph -5. So -5, here's my origin. I always start from the beginning. That's what the origin means, the beginning. So here's the origin, start from there, and I locate -5, and here it is. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and locate -3. Start from your origin, locate -3, and there it is. Again, integers can be represented on a number line, just like a horizontal number line, also known as your x-axis. Now this number line, again, the numbers to the right on this number line are greater than the numbers to the left. So if you see here, -3 is to the right, which indicates that this is a greater value than -5. So if I have -5 here, and I'm comparing that to -3, -3, the mouth, the jaws, the teeth here of that coyote go after the bigger meal, the bigger, slower meal. So -3 is greater than -5. All right, so that's what we do when we compare integers, ladies and gents. And again, if you're still needing more clarification, please let me know. I would be more than happy to demonstrate more examples. All right, now that we compared integers, that is a prerequisite to ordering those integers from least to greatest. Least means from the smallest to the largest. Okay, so we're going to go from the smallest to the largest. That's what it means when we go from least to greatest. Now, here's the integers that were given. -4, +3, 0, -1, and -2. So we're going to have to plot these on a number line. Let's graph them first. Now when we graph these, it's going to help us understand which is greater than and less than. So let me put 0 here. So 0 is our origin. There's one number that we don't have to worry about now. The number to the right is -1. We have -2, to the left, -3, -4, -5, -6. To numbers to the right of the origin, we have +1, +2, and these are notches right here. Okay, +3, +4, +5, and +6. So we located 0 on our number line, and that's our origin. So I'm going to plot that there. And then we have -4. Start from your origin, locate -4, and it's right here. And then we want to go ahead and locate +3. Start from your origin, look for +3. There it is. Cross it out. Process of elimination. So whatever you plotted and graphed, scratch them out. That way you know you already did that one. Okay. And right here, -1. Start from your origin. You're negative, so you go to the left. There's -1 and -2. Oops. That's what I meant to do. All right, so there we go. We graphed all these integers. The integer -4, -4, 3, 0, -1, -2 on a number line. And this is your x-axis, by the way. Now that we did that, we can see which number is greater, less than, or equal to. So right here, least to greatest, the smallest number here is going to be -4. The next biggest number is going to be -2. The next biggest is going to be -1. And I'm separating them by commas, by the way. Comma. And then you have the origin 0. And then you have +3. All right, so there you go. So that means that, and it's in order from least to greatest. -4 is the smallest integer, and +3 is the largest integer. Now, if we had these mouths open up, this is what it would look like. All right. So there you go. And we do the same thing down here. We're going to go ahead and graph these on a number line. And we're going to use the horizontal number line known as your x-axis. Okay, let me just put 0 here, +1, +2, +3, +4, so on and so forth. And then we have -1, -2, -3, -4, so on and so forth. Now let's go ahead and graph and plot -2. Start from your origin, look for -2. -2 is right here. Cross it out. And then we have -3. Start from origin. Always start from your origin. Always start from the beginning. And -3 is right here to the left. And then we have +3. Start from your origin. Always do that. And there's +3. Plot there, graph that. Then you have +1. +1, start from origins right here. Cross it out. Process of elimination. And then you have -1. So start from your origin, plot -1. And there you go, my friends. So now you can go ahead and list them from least to greatest, smallest to biggest. So the smallest number according to that is going to be -3. The next largest is going to be -2. Next largest is -1. The next largest is +1. And the largest, the greatest number, the greatest integer is going to be +3. So there we go. We listed and ordered these numbers from least to greatest. Again, the mouths here of that coyote open up to the bigger number. So between, and if we compare, 3 is greater than 1. If we compare, 1 is greater than -1. If we compare -2 and -1, -1 would be greater than -2 because it's an integer that's to the right side on a number line. Now remember that any integer on a number line that is to the right is always going to be greater. It's going to be greater than the numbers on the left of on the number line. Okay. And if we compare -3 and -2, -2 would be greater. So there you go, my friends. We've ordered these integers from least to greatest. All right, our next example, we're going to be reasoning with integers. Reasoning means problem solving, deep, critical, analytical thinking, okay? So we have the situation here where we have a number that is greater than -8 and less than 0. So it's less than the origin, but it's greater than -8. What is the greatest possible integer value of this number? So we have 4 options. A, we have -10. B, we have -7. C, we have -1. And D, we have +2. So already, check this out. You have to really read this. A number is greater than -8. So if you have -10 here, -8 is greater than -10. So we know automatically it's not going to be A. Cross that out. So a number is greater than -8 and less than 0. So if we have +2, +2 is greater than 0. And this number we're trying to look for is less than 0. So D is not going to be one of the options. So it's going to be either -7 or -1. Now here's what I mean. I'm going to draw a number line, the x-axis, the horizontal number line. Here's 0, okay? And here's +1, +2, +3, +4, so on and so forth. Here we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11, and it's going to keep going forever to -infinity. These positive integers are going to keep going to positive infinity, okay? All right, so from there, let's plot these. I'm just going to go ahead and plot -10 here. So here's -10. I'm going to plot that there, graph it. There's -7. I'm going to plot it there. Oh, cool! Yay! Excuse me. Here's the origin. We're going to plot -1 right here, and then +2 right here. So again, this number is greater than -8 and less than 0. So here's -8, and here's 0, the origin. Now this number that we're looking for is going to be somewhere in between here. All right, this is going to be what we call a range between -8 and 0. So we know it's not going to be -10. We know it's not going to be +2, so that's what I meant earlier by it's not going to be A or D. It's either going to be -7 or -1. Now, between these two options here, which one is greater than the other? Well, if we compare -7 and -1, we see that -1's on the right side and closer to the origin. So that's going to be the bigger number. So the correct answer is C. C, -1. That is the correct answer because this is the greatest possible integer value of this number. All right, according to what's being written here. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right, our last example, we're going to model real life. So it shows that this diagram, this diagram shows the coldest recorded temperatures in several towns. We have Tuba City, -9 degrees Fahrenheit. Kayenta, -8 degrees Fahrenheit. Palaka, -5 degrees Fahrenheit. Chinle, -1 degrees Fahrenheit. And Gallup, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And these are the coldest recorded temperatures of these towns. Again, this example did have a different example in the book. I'm using the same numbers, but you know, it gave us the state of Virginia. Not many of us know the state of Virginia, so I'm trying to make it relevant to where we live geographically. Okay. Now, we're asked which town has the coldest temperature, and also has a negative Fahrenheit temperature ever been recorded in Gallup. All right, so let's go and graph these temperatures first. Now, it says Tuba City, -9. -9 degrees Fahrenheit. And this number line is a vertical number line. All right, so that vertical number line, again, you have 0, the origin. This is the beginning, okay? And they have positive integers going up above 0, and you have negative integers going below 0. Again, these go to negative infinity, and these positive integers go to positive infinity, okay? All right, so Tuba City here is at -9 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'll put Tuba City there. Kayenta is at -8 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, these are just kind of made up. They're not factual. Palaka at -5 degrees Fahrenheit. So start at 0, the origin, go to -5. Here's Palaka. And then we have Chinle at -1 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and notice how I'm labeling it as well. And then Gallup, New Mexico. Kind of want some Mexican food from Jerry's. All right, Gallup, -0 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, again, this diagram shows the coldest recorded temperatures for several towns. Again, this is all made up. It's fictional. All right, these are not accurately true. So we want to know which town has the coldest temperature. Now remember, we look for the number that has the coldest. So if we look here, here's your origin, and the number that is the furthest down would be the coldest. So according to our graph and our numbers, hypothetically, we're saying that Tuba City, even though it's not true, is the coldest. Okay, and also we keep in mind that these are the coldest recorded temperatures. Coldest recorded temperatures, made up, by the way. These are fictional. So fictional, it's made up. All right, not true, but we're just using this as an example. Second question is, has a negative Fahrenheit temperature ever been recorded in Gallup? So if this was Gallup's coldest ever, 0, by the way, is a neutral integer. It's a neutral number. It is neither negative or positive. So we're gonna say no. Gallup has no negative Fahrenheit temperature ever recorded, because 0 is the coldest and 0 is a neutral number. All right, there you guys go. And that's basically it when we compare and order integers. All right, just remember what I said about the number lines. If you have your x-axis, remember the numbers that are to the right of the number line are going to be the greatest numbers. The numbers to the left of them are going to be the least numbers, okay, least value. If you have the y-axis, here's your origin 0. The numbers above the origin are going to be the greatest value numbers. The numbers below are going to be the lowest, the least value. All right, so by now, with 8.2 comparing and ordering integers, you should by now explain how to determine which two integers is greater when you compare them. You should also be able to order a set of integers from least to greatest, and also interpret what that means as being able to understand the statements about order in real life problems. All right, don't forget to ask for help and ask questions, and please make it to the tutoring sessions. Turn in your work. We'll see you guys.